Japanese music in the first quarter of 2024 had some big moments. We didn't think there could possibly anything to beat all those massive happenings of 2023, but bands like SCANDAL, BABYMETAL and BAND-MAID, amongst many more artists, had a lot to say about that. So let's jump in to recap the highlights of the first quarter for those of you who may have missed them or just want a happy reminder. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, and let's firstly talk new albums because the release slate was amazing this quarter. Award-winning Japanese music legends SCANDAL released their latest album Luminous, marking a return to more of a band sound after the slightly experimental vibes of the COVID era mirror. Luminous was also released alongside the very scandalesque SCANDAL single Fanfare and its super upbeat video. The album also included the previously released and super impressively written Highlight no Naka de Boku Zuto, I think I'm saying that right, and Rocker Line of Sight, which both debuted back in 2023. And so far Luminous seems to have gone down pretty well with fans, which should fuel the accompanying Japan and international tours, and I am currently putting the finishing touches on this channel's full-length album review, so remember to subscribe to catch that coming soon. But yet another Japanese pop rock legend was also delivering an amazing release as SIREN finally made good on their return from a hiatus with their new 3-piece lineup and the mini album Youthful, which was a welcome sign that they could recapture their glorious, intoxicating sound from pre-hiatus. This mini album was full of joy and sentimentality with a really upbeat opening song, Only One, and a nostalgic heartfelt single in the form of Suspended 4, which had an accompanying video revisiting a classic sci-fi location while celebrating the new lineup. A great turning point and an important release, and has me so excited for what could come next and hopefully a full-length album coming sometime soon. Talking of these mini albums, GACHARIC SPIN kept up the momentum after their momentous album W with the release of the mini album Ace and its oh so gacharically energetic and creative lead single Let It Beat. Not only did this single speak to the marriage of emotional intensity and pop creativity that have been the growing hallmarks of GACHARIC SPIN in recent years, but the mini album itself maintained that streak of quality that the band had been on, especially with the previous album W, making Ace feel actually like a beautiful companion piece. GACHARIC continued to evolve to new heights. But while we're talking of evolving, we have to mention TRiDENT, probably the band I have most hyped over the course of this channel's existence, and they have been paying it off with steady improvement and banger after banger, pure rock creativity, energy and quality. But with the mini album Dream Up just dropping at the end of last year, the band had been touring in support of that in the first quarter of this year, and would you believe it, I saw them at their final tour show in Shibuya. So why am I mentioning this in the album section of this video? Well, at that show they announced yet another new mini album called Spice X will drop on May the 22nd. Therefore you can be sure we'll be talking about that in the next quarter, but at least for this quarter, I just want to say how happy I was to attend such an amazing show that continued to cement what a creative rock force TRiDENT are becoming. But hey, if I'm talking about gigs, let's get into a little bit of tour chat, shall we? I've often said that we don't really talk too much about tour stuff in these quarterly reviews as most bands are touring most of the time, but since the explosions of bands going on tour last year, it really has spilled into an absolute barrage of exciting activity in 2024. Whether it be Japanese breakout success Ado touring overseas, or the Japanese artists popping up at festivals internationally like YOASOBI at Coachella, or Hanabiya at Megaport in Taiwan, whether it be Love Bites and BABYMETAL both touring in Europe, SCANDAL with their Luminous tour announcement that is still announcing even more international dates as we speak. It's just a hive of activity out there. The aforementioned BABYMETAL have been announcing a tentative lineup for their brand new Foxfest annual event, bringing together friends for a 2-night extravaganza at the Saitama Super Arena. I mean, basically whatever music you're into, wherever you are on the globe, keep your eyes open because there is so much going on. Oh, and never count out BAND-MAID, who have yet another busy year ahead with a raft of dates being announced, including overseas appearances and at least one special collaboration we will talk about a little later in this video. May even European BAND-MAID fans dare to begin dreaming of a return by the group to their continent? Hopefully we'll hear more on that soon. Hopefully. But where there's good news, there's often sad news too, and several bands have had splits early on in 2024, including the disbandment of Chai and My Sister Circle, as well as Devil Anthem going into a long hiatus after their 10th anniversary celebrations, one which they may be returning from with an entirely new lineup. Meanwhile, individual members have also departed groups such as beloved guitarist Saki from NEMOPHILA, bassist Hiro from Crossfaith, and Regal Lily's drummer Yukiyama, but they're another band who we're going to be talking about a bit later in this video, so I'll come back to Regal Lily a bit later. That being said, not all endings were sad, as all these previously mentioned bands who lost sole members have decided to continue on anyway, and the newly freed up members are likely to find new projects of their own. I suspect Saki especially, with her wide range of connections to other bands. Or maybe those talents will just find a pleasant new direction, such as Metalverse's departing members Yume, who apparently decided to focus on her education instead, and Miki, who I have been told is looking to pivot towards acting. All whilst Metalverse moves on with events such as the aforementioned Foxfest and new songs like Crazy J that came out in the first quarter and Naked Princess that followed soon after. Yes, Metalverse will be proceeding as a three-piece, with their new songs and hopeful future success. And speaking of new songs, there have been many great new ones atop those already mentioned. The usual suspects were out in force as Hanabiya released Otaku with a stunning video and all the hallmarks of crazy metal fun that we love about them, with the writing creativity still there. Whilst Regal Lily really surprised me with the song Twinkling Ash, which brought me back towards a band that I had drifted away from several years prior. Marked by a fantastic approach to simple melody and harmony that hit beautifully, Regal Lily delivered something truly impactful. TRiDENT also never stopped working, and so Bite the Bullet was released, continuing their previously mentioned never-ending cascade of awesome material, with that brilliant single which was tied in with a little bit of video game sponsorship as well. And shifting to a more idle J-pop note, Wasta released the overpoweringly catchy Eikumuchu de Kosinchu, hope I pronounced that right, which had a great fun cheese festival video and a fantastic melody that gets drilled into your brain, pure joy through and through. And I would actually also recommend watching the members' reaction video of them seeing this MV for the first time. It's heartwarming as anything and doubles up the joy. But there were also a few new discoveries for me this quarter as well, and maintaining that J-pop idol theme for a moment, I have to draw attention to Panic Monster in Wonderland, an idol group I recently heard about from our Discord community. They had one music video in the first quarter especially, this song Western Candy Girl. It's just everything the title suggests and more. Ultra catchy, super cute, and featuring the attempted murder of an unidentified man. What more could you ask for? Meanwhile, chart-smashing singer, rapper and writer Daoko released a song with her new band Qubit that certainly deserves more attention. Despite maybe not being to everyone's taste, I did a whole video talking about how I felt this was an amazingly well-constructed song. Totally worth checking out. Also, the band Mukue? Am I pronouncing it right? Who the hell knows? But what I do know is that this band has really surprised me also since I first heard them in this quarter. A slightly minimalist group with an amazing flair for soundscapes, funk and earworm energy, as demonstrated in their mesmerizing new single Bite You. Again, these guys and their naming of things, what can I say? But the conversation of new songs wouldn't be complete unless we dived into the myriad of mind-blowing collaborations we've been offered up this year already. First of all, we have to talk about Ano and Liris Ikuta of YOASOBI singing fame, coming with a song written by TK, who proved himself previously with songs for Ain at the End and Ling Tosite Segura. God, the names in this video are difficult. This track was an impressively passionate and musically interesting hit that was overflowing with intelligent pop melodies, harmonies, and a batshit crazy video that looked awesome. Meanwhile, Jill from Unlucky Morpheus and Saori Hoshino from Soli decided that a single song just wasn't enough for them, and the two epic violinists came together to create the side project Tonerico, which released the dramatic violin metal album Valkyrie Notes back in March. well worth checking out for a different and very effective take on the music we all know and love. But we have to circle back around to Metalverse for a moment, who, despite having released no studio recordings of their own yet, are taking a very live approach to collaborating, sharing their live set at Foxfest with Asterism, the instrumental three-piece who many a muso has fallen in love with in recent years. And although the nature of their onstage collaboration is not yet clear, Asterism's announcement as guests in the Metalverse set seems to open the door to a very realistic possibility that the vocal group Metalverse and the primarily instrumental group Asterism will be playing songs together. And that sounds truly exciting, both as an experiment for Asterism and a boost in reach amongst the metal and muso community for Metalverse. But we couldn't mention Metalverse without mentioning the big sister group, the Japanese music legends, the one and only BABYMETAL. Look, I did a whole video talking about this in detail previously, but BABYMETAL's appearance on the incredibly well-paced F-Hero song Leave It All Behind alongside Thai Rocker's Body Slam just served to show how much BABYMETAL is pointing in the right direction of recent. Their performance showcased all three members singing in pattern with each other, big smiles, big energy, and a real feel of a group who have refound themselves. And coming off of the previous strong collaboration song Metally with Tom Morello, they are carrying so much momentum right now. I'm honestly so excited for their, as yet unannounced, first album with more metal, and I do hope we will be talking about that more this year. Along with Foxfest, BABYMETAL has some great things coming, but for this quarter, Leave It All Behind was absolutely a great piece of news, well worth talking about. We're still in the collaboration segment of this video, and the real band who wants to be the cake taker this year has to be BAND-MAID, who warned us of their intention to announce collaborations with overseas artists this year, and well, they have not been disappointing. See what I did there? A collaborative gig in Tokyo with beloved Mexican rockers The Warning has been announced, and I have speculated already about how this could and should lead to an epic crossover song at some point. Now, I can't really talk about the song Bestie, co-written by Incubus famed Mike Einziger. Seriously, the names in this video. And, I can't talk about how it's been confirmed for release on April 17th, as that was all announced in, well, the beginning of April. April 1st, to be specific, and therefore not the first quarter. But just thought I should remind you of that. See, this all sets up the scene that we may well possibly be getting announcements of more collaborations this year from BAND-MAID, and maybe even more songs, as well as BAND-MAID already stating their intention to release a new album this year. But well, that takes us beyond the first quarter even more. I must say though that in the first 3 months, BAND-MAID sure did a good job getting us excited for the rest of the year and touring to keep up their profile as well. So there you have it, our brief overview of the first quarter of Japanese music in 2024. Remember to do all the YouTube buttons like liking and subscribing so you can see more reviews, more of these videos in future, and interviews that we have coming up with more Japanese artists. And of course, get in the comments, tell me what you think, any particular news articles that you think maybe I missed and I should have talked about. I look forward to reading them. I do always go through all of the comments, and until I hopefully see you here in Japan for the next one of these videos soon, for now, ciao, ciao.